Hello, and welcome to Virtualizing Data Sources with DVM, Data Virtualization Manager, the only data virtualization product running on Z. My name is Bill Powers, and I'm a Senior Solution Advisor for Rocket Software. Today, I will provide you an overview of how to virtualize VSAM and IMS data sources. We will first connect to our DVM server, create virtual tables, execute SQL against these tables, and then create a view that joins a VSAM file to an IMS segment. Let's get started.
First thing we need to do is verify that our DVM server is operational. I will get an SDSF. The name of the server is AVZ1, and we'll look at the status. So our server is started. The next step is to open up the studio, connect to the studio. We're using port 15082, which is specified in the IN00 startup file, and we're the user ID and a TSO password ID. We'll click OK. Okay, so we can open up SQL, we can open up data, and we have the server AVZ1 listed there that shows that we're connected. The next thing we need to do before we start mapping any data sources is to define source libraries. Source libraries define your artifacts, your copybooks, your DVDs, your PSBs, that stuff. So to add a new library, a source library, to a server, we go into Create Source Library. As you can see here, there's several source libraries that already exist here, and I will use one of those. Next is to open up the server, open up virtual tables, and what we're going to do is we're going to right click on the virtual tables. We're going to go into Create Virtual Table. We're going to select the data source VSAM. I'm going to change my metadata repository, and I'm going to put the name of my virtual table I'm going to create as DTE VSAM INV. I'm going to take the defaults here. I'm going to click Next. I'm going to pick my source library that I just showed you, and I'm going to select, this is my copybook library I'm going to be using for this demonstration. Okay, I'm going to be virtualizing VSAM, and the copybook that has a layout for that VSAM file is vparts I. I'm going to download it. It's checked. I'm going to click Next. Here I can open up the perspective that look at the copybook and look at the fields that define the copybook. I'll click Next. And this is where I enter the VSAM dataset name in. I'll click Validate, and it comes back and tells me it's a KSDS. I'll click OK. Then I'll click Finish. Once the virtual table is created, the next thing I can do is I can right-click on the virtual table and I can generate a query and bring back result sets. Now let's create the virtual table for the IMS segment. Just go into Create Virtual Table. We're going to select Data Source IMS. There's an extract, and there's for DVD and PSB. You can open up this box right here, and it'll show you all the DVDs that have been extracted. It's already been done, so I'm just going to select D21 part. It's the same thing for the PSB. I am going to select DFS SAM04. And once I do that, you'll notice the box Create Virtual Table is highlighted. I'm going to click that. Here, I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to change my metadata repository. That's my individual map data set. You don't normally have to do that, but I am using another DVM server, so I am going to segregate my maps from the other map libraries. I'm going to click Next. So here we're going to pull up the copy library. Okay, we're going to select part rec. We're going to download it. We're going to select Next. We're going to expand the layout. We're going to look at it. We'll take that. Next. There's a redefines clause on here, but we're going to leave it as is. So we're going to click next. Here I have my DBD name, my PSB name, and it wants to know which segment is associated with this virtual table. So I'm going to select part root. Then I'm going to click finish. I'm going to right click on the virtual table I created for the IMS segment, DTE IMS part, and I'm going to generate a query. So there I virtualized VSAM and I virtualized an IMS segment. Next, what I want to do is I want to join this VSAM to this IMS segment. So I can click on any table here, but we can open up this and we'll create a create virtual view. I'm going to give the name of the view change my metadata. So here I'm going to select the table I'm going to start with, which is the VSAM. And then it gives me the VSAM table I need to select right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take an SQL statement I've already put together for doing this join. And I'm going to paste it in there. And I'm going to validate. So it told me that join was successful. So let's finish creating the view. So under virtual views, you can see the view that I just created. And what we can do is we can look at that view. There's the SQL statement that joins both the VSAM and IMS segment. And then we can execute, run a query against it. So what we've just demonstrated is we virtualized a VSAM file, virtualized an IMS segment, and we just joined two disparate data sources, VSAM and IMS. That concludes this video.